Hi guys, this is D Evans back with another video in reference to Plan Your Future Incorporated. It's a nonprofit organization that I started several years ago. I created this nonprofit organization to actually go out into the community to help families in need. I am a professional school counselor. This is my 19th year. I've worked middle school for 5 years and high school for 14 years. And started this nonprofit based off of what I was told from students and parents, mainly parents, grandparents. Back in like 2009, I had a grandparent to tell me her reasons for not really coming to the school. She said she was old. She said that it was her son's job to raise his children. She was a grandmother and she didn't expect to be raising her son's children at that particular point in time. And so she said the only time she leaves the house is when she's going to the doctor's office, to the grocery store, to get food and medicine, or to go to church. And I guess she just didn't think that she would have to be at her grandchild's school 2 times a week. And so that resonated with me. And several years later, about 6 years later, not several, about 6 years later, I decided to create a nonprofit organization to help people like that out, to go into the community, take the resources I have at the school and spread it amongst the people in the communities that need it, like the grandparent I'm talking about, or just people who don't go to the schools, because sometimes educators can talk down to parents. I've seen it happen during my 19 years as a school counselor. But I ran into a lot of crossroads. I had a lot of resistance during my time, with my nonprofit organization. And I just want to kind of run down a few of my situations that kind of discouraged me. One of the biggest things that actually discouraged me was seeing how the black leaders in the black community do not care. Mostly the pastors. I visited several churches around a high school I worked at for 8 years, and to see their lack of concern. They talk like they really care, but they really don't. And I'm going to just give you some examples of what my experiences were when I spoke to these prominent people in our communities, or in black communities. This one particular pastor, right there he lived, well, the church was right down the street from the high school I'm talking about. Stopped by his church to just tell him what my nonprofit was about. And the first thing, he looked me up and down and told me he needed literature. I needed to hand him something. And I told him, I was just riding through the community and I just decided to stop by. I said, but everything is online. I'm legit. I had my 501c3. I had a website. I had business cards. I mean, I could show him exactly what I was doing, on the website. And he said, well, brother, I just want to let you know, the Sisters of Delta Sigma Theta and the Brothers of Omega Psi Phi, we help the community, we help the students out with scholarship opportunities. And I stopped him. I said, sir, I don't know if you know, but I have all the resources when it comes to scholarships. I have students who've gotten the Gates Scholarship. It used to be called the Gates Millennium Scholarship, the Ron Brown Scholarship. I mean, I've had students to not have to pay one dime in college, and they've gone to schools like Stanford, California, Berkeley, and these schools cost over $60,000 per year. And so he looked at me, and he shut up. And then he actually sent me inside of his church to speak to his secretary, to get my information. And so I gave the secretary all of my information. The pastor said that he would call me. He never did. And what was interesting about him, when I walked into his church, the first picture I saw was a picture of him and his family, which I understand. The second picture was a picture of him in some gold boots, an Omega Psi Phi shirt, and some some army fatigue shorts, cargo shorts. And I thought that was odd, to see a pastor. One picture was of his family. And the second picture was of him throwing up the Q Dog sign with gold boots on, shorts, army fatigue colored shorts with the purple and gold shirt, the Q Dog colors. And I just knew right there when I saw that guy wasn't going to call me back, and he never did. So moving on to another story, another example of an experience I had with black leaders in the community. There was a pastor I was introduced to from a parent of mine. He actually attended the church, and I went there. I always take money with me when I go to, visit them like on Sundays, because I kind of figure they want me to contribute to the church. So this one particular pastor, he was telling me that he was trying to buy a new church. And, he knew that he had people in his church who needed assistance, because what I do, I help with financial aid, scholarships, students who are trying to apply to college that might have questions about the college application. I mean, just anything that can possibly help these kids when it comes to, just enhancing or advancing themselves in life, or even kids who may not be going to college. They might want to go to a vocational college, or they might want to go into the military, or they may be on the verge of dropping out of high school and want to know what alternative options are available for them. And here in the state of Georgia, we have Youth Challenge Academy, we have Job Corp. There are a lot of different options students can pursue, and they can get their GED as well and still go to college. But, that's what I was trying to do. And the pastor told me, well, yeah, I know we have people here who they probably can't read, they're struggling, and they do need help. He said, but right now I don't have time for that, brother. We're trying to get a new church, and that's the primary focus. And I looked at him, and I was like, wow, I mean, I'm not charging anything. I'm just trying to, give this information out for free. That's all I'm trying to do. And so during the sermon, when he was preaching, he actually introduced, he told the congregation about me. But after he mentioned my name, he said, hopefully this young man will help us contribute to our new church. And he had someone to stand next to me. So I was the first person to tithe that day. And it was shocking because he made sure I gave them some money, but he didn't let me speak to his congregation. And so after I gave the money, I sat there for a few more minutes, and I ended up leaving because it was very discouraging to see, he wanted me to donate a tithe, but he didn't want me to speak to the people in his church. And I just started feeling like these pastors want to keep their congregation ignorant and to not advance or enhance themselves to the point to where they can help their kids grow. And even the parents, some of them may not have high school diplomas. I could help them too. But, there are several stories I can share with you guys, but I don't want to take too long. I'm just going to keep these videos under 10 minutes. But those are just two examples I wanted to share with you, and I'll keep the videos coming. But this video was just mainly about, the lack of concern in the black community from our black leaders. And they only focus on what they want to focus on. They know that there are good people in the community who want to share information and resources with their congregation because the people in the church look to them for guidance. And I just really see they're being misled. And it's sad. And it became so discouraging to me, I had to just step back. And before I leave, I just want to let you know that I had another pastor to call me. One of my coworkers referred me to her church, and she told me she gave the pastor my phone number. 6 weeks passed. I didn't hear anything from the pastor, and then the pastor finally called. She said, I don't have nothing to say. I'm sorry, but I don't have a reason why I didn't call. I said, wow. And I said, the person who gave me, who told me about you, she really spoke highly of your church. And she said, well, I'm sorry, but I don't have a reason. I apologize, but there's no reason. I just can't say why it took so long for me to call. I said, don't worry about it. I just said, don't worry about it, and tried to still work with her, but things didn't work out. But it was another sad situation. So, hey guys, I thank you for listening. I will keep the videos coming, and I'm just going to share examples of what I've had to deal with with my nonprofit organization, and hopefully continue to encourage and inspire other people to not give up, because it can be sad, it can be discouraging to, deal with our people sometimes when it comes to trying to enlighten our people about education. Education is very important, and we need to really focus on that. I think that's what's going to help our community get back to where it needs to be. But other than that, guys, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.